More now on the August jobs report. As we know, more jobs were added than expected, but the unemployment rate still ticked up to 9.6% from 9.5%. So what more can Washington do? What more can the Federal Reserve do? Let's ask former Fed Governor Randall Kroszner. He's now an economics professor at the University of Chicago. Thank you so much for joining us, Randall. We appreciate your time. Let's get first your reaction to the report, because there are lots of moving parts in this August jobs report. I know that you focused on one particular number. What did you find most encouraging?
So I thought what was very important is the revisions for the previous months were positive, because that's what happened in the last jobs report that everyone was so distressed over, because not only was it weaker than expected, but they had revised the job numbers down over the last few months. Now this one was a revision up, which suggests that there's actually a little bit more strength than we had thought over the last few months, and then there was more private sector job creation this month than most people had expected.
So how does Ben Bernanke and the rest of the FOMC interpret this data? What do they do now?
Well, I think this is a very, very important piece of data that goes into the decision-making process for the next FOMC meeting that's coming up very soon. So they'll be thinking about, well, what does this mean for the direction of the economy? What does this mean for the momentum in the economy? And so this suggests that there's a little bit more momentum in the job market than the previous numbers had suggested. And so my hunch is that they will they'll assess this. They'll look at the forecast, readjust their forecast, but I don't think this is going to provide a foundation for any major move at the next FOMC meeting.
Well, so it sounds like that this report reduces the urgency for the Fed to put in stimulus in September, but does it let them off the hook for later on this year?
Unfortunately, the Fed is never off the hook. It's always on the hook for what's going on in the economy, and I think that's right. This, as you said, takes away a little bit of the urgency, but I think what the Fed did at the last meeting, which was to prevent the shrinkage of the balance sheet, which I think was very important, because they were contracting by not doing anything. They were actually contracting the balance sheet. So now they're keeping it steady, and the chairman outlined potential things that could be done if the economy turns south, but I don't think these numbers suggest the economy is turning significantly south. It may not be growing as much as we would like, but I just don't see the double dip possibility in these numbers right now.
Okay, so this report doesn't do much to advance that double dip theory.
No, I'd say it's contrary to it, because the numbers were revised for the previous months. That, for me, is very important. Also, the wages went up a little bit. The number of hours worked stayed steady. And although the unemployment rate went up, part of that was because people are a little bit more optimistic and starting to look for work. So it's sort of a double-edged sword when you've got a large increase in labor force participation, leading the unemployment rate to go up. So don't want to say that it's rosy, but it suggests that there could be some improvements down the line.
Okay, what's been missing in all this? The president highlighted the 8th straight month of private sector job growth is confidence. Consumers don't have the confidence that their jobs will be there. They don't have the confidence that they can find a new job. Companies don't have the confidence to actually begin hiring. Without that confidence, doesn't a double dip recession, talk of all that, become kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy? I mean, at the very least, we'll continue to see sluggish growth because that confidence isn't there.
Yeah, I think it's more that it can be a bit of a damper on growth. I don't really see it being enough to push the economy back down, but there is a lot of uncertainty out there. What's going to happen on fiscal policy? The president said that he may be doing something related to small businesses, may be related to private sector job creation. I think that's good, but let's hear what it is, because I think one of the key things that people are uncertain about is what is going to happen with fiscal policy. Are taxes going to go up or down? And they could go up or down quite significantly. We just don't have a very good idea. It's very hard for individuals to plan, and in particular for firms to decide whether they can hire workers permanently or not. What we've been seeing is a big increase in temporary employment, not in the permanent employment.
Right.
And it only when there's more certainty, particularly on the fiscal side, that companies will have the confidence to hire permanent workers.
And we keep hearing more and more that Congress, the president, need to do more on the fiscal side of things. That kind of highlights how the Fed really can't do this by itself. And the Fed chief, Ben Bernanke, said so as much. Has the Fed run out of bullets for now? And just very quickly here.
No, I don't think they've run out of bullets. They can do it, but they can't do it alone. They can provide the foundation for growth, but if uncertainty lingers on the fiscal side, they can't force firms to hire jobs. That's got to come from a little bit greater clarity from the administration and from Congress.
Okay, comes back to that confidence once again. Thank you so much. We've been speaking with Randall Kroszner. He's a former Fed governor and currently professor at University of Chicago. Thank you.